Hello, you all. Welcome to this new edition of Lecture Musica, the place for great lyrics, great music, and great meaning. My name is Guilain Prince. I'm a Franciscan friar from Canada. I love rock music for a long time, especially hard rock, metal, and prog. Once a week, we stop, all of us together. We listen closely to one song, and then we look at closely to the lyrics, the musical construction, and the meaning of the song. And it's a beautiful, beautiful journey that we began a little bit more than 1 year ago. And we are already close, very close to 4,000 subscribers, something I never, ever dreamt of a year ago. So I'm very grateful for you. So that because you are here, you are part of this journey, and I'm totally ecstatic about this. It's unexpected. I'm a very happy man right now. I work very hard. I'm full-time worker, researcher, but I have a few hours a week of leisure that I spend with you listening to great music, and I love it. I hope you will be there for a long time. We will discover great stuff for the coming years, I'm pretty sure, because I'm quite a faithful man usually. And now it's part of my, I would say, weekly routine. I cannot, again, probably because I changed my little computer here. It's a new generation of CPU. It's a new generation of software. The system operation system. For now, there is a small glitch that doesn't give me access to the presentation I make. That I usually show you on the screen. I cannot do that right now. I'm sad about it because I love to put on the screen. But since it affects one or two other software, and I know that since the operation system is a major update, I'm pretty sure it would take a little while for the software. So I has to settle for this kind of presentation. Usually I like to show the words I'm talking about on the screen. You will accept that it is not possible for me as we speak, but I'll do my best to be as clear as possible. Now, let's begin immediately. We are in a journey through the last Epica album called Omega. Last week we did a reaction and an analysis of the previous song called Rivers. I loved it. It's a beautiful song. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch both the reaction and the analysis. Earlier this week I reacted to a song called Synergize Manic Manifest. This is a song really to my liking. I love it, every single part of it, and I will talk to you about that song and why I find it so remarkable. Now, this is the analysis in English. As you know, the reaction are in French, my mother tongue. I'm a French Canadian, and I love to react as natural as possible, and I think that's what you appreciate. I react, and I'm very expressive. So there it is. We are ready for the analysis of the song. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the channel. Only 100 subscribers are missing for my 4,000. I'm pretty excited about that. So let's go and dig into the song. So it's the 9th song, the 10th musical piece of the album Omega. Omega is the 8th studio album of Epica, the band from the Netherlands. The composer of the song Manic Manifest is Isaac Delahaye and Epica, and as for the lyrics, it's Simone herself. Now, the intro is an extremely fast-paced double bass beat made with in a very steady and efficient way by the drummer. Kudos to the drummer. It was exceptional. The beat is insistent. There are accents made out of the snare, we call the snare. That's the small drums that the drummer has between the legs. So it's the tap, 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 tap. On it makes accents with the electrical guitar, and we will see that later. The same accents or different accents are synchronized with the whole orchestra. Then enters the orchestra with a very melodic line on this very powerful rhythmic section. There's a transition, and we enter into the beat of the verse. What does Simone sings here? Rise up from the fire, take back all authority, let go of all that holds you down. Made up enemies imprison your identity as soon your soul turns into stone. Made up enemies, take back all authority. There is a problem. The person is stuck in, I would call it, a depressive state. There is a situation of paralysis that the person experience in some kind of depression, and rise up from the fire. The fire is where? The fire is within. Let go everything that lets you down. Your enemies, made up enemies. So it doesn't mean that it's from outside, real enemies. The enemies, they are tying you because of your imagination, your fears, and everything. And as turn, it's interesting that you have the fire and the stone. A fire probably signifying everything that happens in the heart, but at the same time turns you into stone. To stone, probably some kind of incapacity to relate to something else than what happens inside. So this would be my take on this one. What do you think? So your soul dies in a way because of that, because of this paralysis of depression. Now, let go and take back all authority is a call to empowerment, to take back something, so that you really have a choice. You can decide something. Okay, we will continue on this one because this is one of the theme of the whole song. Now, the second verse, what I call the B section, is really a pre-chorus. It is built as a build-up to bring us all to the chorus. And in fact, there's a blend at the junction of the two. Start from within. This is where to get back some authority, to free yourself. The beginning is from within. So start from within. This is the day we begin to break away. The we is interesting here, because I think that it can be two things. It can be two parts within the same person, or it could be two persons living the same thing. And I think that we can say it's both of them. Because if the two parts, as we will see, are in dialogue in that song, and we together, we will break away. But at the same time, there's a song, there's a band called Epica, reaching out to other people, probably members of Epica experience that kind of state. And in fact, I'm pretty certain by the description of the song that these people know by experience. And they are reaching out to other people. Today is the time to break away from that. Very interesting, isn't it? So next page, this is the C, the third paragraph, the C section. So for now it's A, B, C. It will be A, B, C again. Now Simone is there with Mark, emphasizing only certain words and certain sentences with his growl in an exceptionally efficient way. To my taste, this is great. This is absolutely great. There are bits and pieces of, I would say, I wrote here choir. I would say the choir is only at the end. All along this chorus, we have backing vocals. I would say 3 or 4 women with Simone, maybe Simone herself and 2 other. But then there's the choir also at the end. So what are they saying? The choir, the back vocals, they say, face the storm and break away with Simone. Set the course and, that's the backing vocals, find your way. Realize it's time, backing vocals, to change your point of view and rise. Your time has come, synergize now. Face the storm of this part and the storm within, and face it and break away. We can understand that. Set the course. So there is an invitation to have an objective, to go in a certain direction. Put your mind to it. Set the course, find your way. Set the course, the direction, find your way is probably navigating through the difficulties. Realize it's time to go back in the activity, in the world, in a way. So you know how it is extraordinarily difficult for a person in depression to go back to action. To change your point of view, so change your point of view and rise. So there is a question of perspective in the song, the perspective you have, and an element of will. I will come back on that. Your time has come. Now is the time. Synergize now. Bring together these 2 parts of yourself. Bring them together. It's time to do it now. There is an éther, so a section, instrumental section between the chorus and the second verse, which is basically similar to the opening, one full cycle. That is, well, yeah, one full cycle of the opening. Here is the second verse in A. So, in the dead of night, your heart keeps pounding in your chest. The monster sleeping by your side, stealing sanity from your manic manifest. There is no place left for you to hide. In the middle of the night, your heart keeps pounding. Well, I know this by experience, not at the level of dysfunction, but to be in the night feeling paralyzed, but at the same time feeling your heart pounding in your chest because of anxiety, because of preoccupations. The monster sleeping by your side. So you basically, you are maybe in depression, maybe in a state where you cannot function, but at the same time, so there's inactivity outside inactivity. There is almost, I could say, outside immobility because there's too many things happening inside. Energy is taken by the inside. The monster sleeping by your side. The monster here could be the depression state, and or it could be the other way around, the energetic self, the manic self. It has no, it doesn't, it's like sleeping, it's not there. It doesn't matter exactly what it aims at here, because what it means is that while you are stuck in immobility, your body, your heart is pounding. That is quite, I say it's a very good description of the situation. Stealing sanity from your manic manifest. Here is the title. So the manic manifest, the manifestation of the manic part, dynamic part, energetic part, this is how we could read here. There is no place left for you to hide. Now it's time to face everything, like we saw earlier. It's time to face everything that is in your heart, so that you can move on. Okay. Now there is the pre-chorus, the B section. Start from within. This is the day we begin to break away, and the chorus that we already looked together, the C section with the backing vocals, Simone backing vocals, and some parts are stressed by the growling of Mark, and there maybe the finale, the end of the choruses with the choir. If I remember well. And then there is an inter here, back to the double bass beat that we had at the beginning, but the accents are different. The melodic lines are also different. We are in a new portion of the song. There comes one of the most famous, I would say, lines of Mark in that song, rise, arise from the low. So he embodies really I would say, the manic part of a person, or the dynamic part of a person, talking to the other part. Revise, arise from the lows. It's time to come out of your cage. Simone answers back as I would say, the depressive part of the self. Live in shadow, there's nowhere left to hide. Your sorrow all time is by your side. So all the time sorrow. There's and shadow, and all of this is there, and we will see it is still there at the end of the song, but it doesn't grab the person, it doesn't imprison the person anymore. On the way, there was a solution so that the person can find some freedom, from some liberty. The next section is Mark comes back in D, in growling, saying revise, important, arise from the lows. It's time to let go of your rage and rise. We will see there's a rage, not against anybody, I think. The rage here is a fierce rage to be alive. I think it's what it means here. And a rage maybe against this imprisonment of the depressive state. Maybe might be some kind of rage. The battle within a person between different parts takes a lot of energy out of us. Okay, let's go to the next section. Isn't that great? Now we enter in the what I call the instrumental bridge. On the beat of the first paragraph. The beat of the first paragraph will be the solo. It's a very powerful, steady beat, half pace. I'm pretty sure the tempo, half tempo. I should have looked, but I didn't look. And then there's a section with no beat, a transition towards the symphonic orchestra taking the relay. And then again, the very powerful metal beat. And I want you to notice that here, on a very steady and powerful metal beat, you have a beautiful melodic line by the whole orchestra. I think that you have there exactly the topic of the song, bringing together these two energies. Then there is the B section, a little bit, I would say B prime, to a pre-chorus towards the chorus. Start from within. We already know. Feel free of what holds you down. This is the day we begin to break away. It's exactly as usual. So feel free of what holds you down. You have to feel it, that you are free from this. This part is within you, but there is no reason why it takes the whole of you. And I think we could say the same with the manic part. All of this is part of you, but don't let any of these take the whole of you. Mm-hmm. We go, now it's the chorus section in C, always with the backing vocals, Simone and Mark stressing few words. And then there is the F section of Simone. Don't take all our time for granted. It could all be gone tomorrow. Do not drown your pain in sorrow. Try to live today. Again, we have a we. Don't take all of our time for granted. There is a call for not letting the depressive part losing time, literally losing time of the whole of the person. That could be within the person, that could be two person in a similar state. I think it works well both direction. This time could be gone tomorrow. It's time to stop right now, get up, rise and shine. Today is the day, literally. It is written somewhere else. So, not to be drowned by your pain or your sorrow now. Try to live today. Try to live today. It's interesting. Again, Mark comes back in a D section, rise from the lows, rise. We all understand that quite well. And then comes the most surprising and most surprising transition, I would say, ever, because we really think that song is finished. And then poof, suddenly the symphonic orchestra takes the relay and brings us in a very serene landscape. I would say I called it picturesque music. You picture a field, you picture little hills. I wrote even pastoral music, And on this very serene, you hear Simone saying, light as a feather, all worries gone, my soul yearns to be free. I'm wandering towards the sun, lost in mourning, my heart is longing, living in a paradox of synergy. I want you to understand that the serenity that we have at the end is not the disappearance of the manic phase and depressive phase or states. It is the combination. So there is still some energetic elements, and there are still some depressive within a person now being free. Light as a feather, all worries gone. I would say this sentence for me is a little bit idealistic, because I don't feel that it's accurate in general, that suddenly all our worries are gone. But I understand what it means. It's that, I would say, overwhelming worries are gone. I think it would be very accurate then. My soul yearns to be free. My soul, as being the whole of all this, yearns to be free. I am wandering towards the sun, and I want you to notice the expression towards the sun. If I am wandering towards one, I'm going up, but the melody goes down for these words. So it could indicate that it's just something that was not planned. It happened like that. Or it could be that there is some kind of message. Is that going towards the sun is also going towards within ourselves. And it's not as if I have no clue what's happening or what is heavy in my heart. It's really together going up in a way, higher in a better state. The I becoming as well, integrating a us that of these different parts. It's quite interesting, I see. There is still mourning, so there is mourning of something. That could be the origin of the depressive state. My heart is longing, as the beginning of this song, living in a paradox of synergy. Living, my heart is longing, but has to accept that there are energies within me, sometimes conflicting energies, and I'm a living paradox because of that. Isn't that a great song? It is. And there's no end because there's a connection with the next song. I'm certain it is the reason why the song, both versions we listened to, finished abruptly. So let's go and summarize everything. First, in terms of section, you have a very good introduction, ABC. Good introduction, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. This is repeated 2 times. Quite normal, exactly what you had for the previous song, for example. Then you have a short instrumental section, and if you remember well, you have 2 sections of Mark growling rise, with a small section in between of Simone. So D, E, D, okay? Another instrumental section, and then we go back to BC, okay? And again, another special section of Simone, and Mark comes back in growling just before the serene part of the song with a completely different feel and music, melodic line for the verse, and the words are different as well. Great song, great song. Musically, it's highly dynamic from the start, but I would say what makes this song so distinctive is the fact that the contrasts are extremely strong in that song, very strong. And even within the metal section, very high-paced double bass, and then suddenly a very powerful half-tempo beat. And then the other contrast with the symphonic section, or I would say a picturesque section of the end. The contrasts are exceptional in that song, and I appreciated that. In terms of lyrics, it offers no difficulty in the chosen vocabulary. We can understand the words at face value. They reveal an experience of phases in the human heart and soul, depressive and manic state and all phases. We are a living paradox. Both parts are in the same person, and they sometimes coexist. Hence, paralysis and immobility while having high rate for the heartbeat, lyrics are very intelligent. They describe something very clearly. In fact, I'm quite surprised. Now, the Manic Manifest. Now, let's talk about the title. The Manic Manifest could have 2 meanings, but I would tend to go towards one. But I think the 2 are implied in a way. There's energy, fierce energy. I would say even rage. This part of us is climbing its space. I would use the word here, manifest, as being this song is the energetic part, the fierce part of us asking, claiming space. So that would be to the depressive part, and then it's a manifest in the political sense. It can be simply the fact that this part manifests itself or asks for space simply so that you manifest yourself with the energetic part or the fierce or the raging part of yourself. And this is asked for now, today. Today is the time to rise. Okay? The depressive self now is there at the beginning and at the end of the song. Don't think that the depressive state disappears. No. Something is keeping us retired or isolated, a cage that is inside mostly, but has a repercussion outside. And this part has to be recognized as well down below. The not knowing or the not integrating that part, it would be probably, I think the song could be interchanged. The depressive part, the need for mourning, for example, the need for taking some time to be lost in a way after an important event, could be claimed. Take your time. So the opposite song could be made as well. It could be synergize the depression manifest or the mourning manifest. Maybe mourning could be better than the depression manifest. You see, it could be very interesting. I am mourning someone. I need time. I need time to mourn, to go deep, and to understand myself in that state. But anyways, it's good. It's really interesting. Synergize, you now understand, as we understand, is to put together two energies, both paths coexisting in one heart, one being, both part being integrated in a whole united self person. Then growth is possible and freedom. Let's final words, the final words. So this song is a powerful wake-up call to rise up from a depressive state. Now let's get moving. The song basically is this. It's a call to go within as well and find a larger perspective or point of view from which it is possible to grow and to find some serenity. Now, here's my only small critique, and it's very a minor one, but from the experience I have of being close to people with such difficulties, the medical help sometimes is necessary to keep those cycles within, I would call this functional limits, even if I don't like the expression itself. So, making spiritual and psychological growth possible. Sometimes the person has really a medical condition that will prevent her or him from growing. So I am not totally in accord with the song that seems to put everything on the side of knowledge of yourself and of will. Knowledge of yourself and will are not, in certain circumstances, sufficient tools to overcome that depressive state. From what I saw in people, from what I didn't experience personally, but I know people close to me experience that. So that's why I understand so well and I appreciate it. In fact, this song, I sent it to 4 or 5%. The 5 came back, told me this is a great song. And some of the people I sent them are people close of other people with mental health issues. And everybody said, wow, that's a great song. So I have a small critique here, but it's not a big one. I know that there are some debate between psychiatrists and psychologists. Psychiatrists, of course, they will favor a medical solution, and the psychologists will tend to work a lot on the therapeutic part of psychology to overcome deeply these situations. I think that both, in fact, are needed. Experience has shown me that both are necessary. But, anyways, this is it, dear friends. Great song, great music, great meaning. A very minor critique of the song. I loved it. Our journey of 12 songs in 12 weeks. Next week will be the next song. I don't have the title in front of me, so I forgot. But it will be the next one. And it's the one connected with the one we just finished. The reaction in French will be there on Wednesday afternoon, 1:30. Something seems to be have been corrected related with subtitles this week and the week before. Subtitles were there, but don't get discouraged. If the subtitles are not there, just come 3 days after it. They will be there. Don't let yourself be put down because the subtitles are not there. I don't have a power over that. The premiere, the 1:30 on Wednesday, it will be somewhere like 7:30 in Western Europe. Saturday, the analysis like this one comes out of the same song in English. I hope my software will be repaired so that I can show you on the screen what I'm talking about. As for now, you don't forget you can subscribe and to push the little bell right beside so that you're notified as soon as a new song comes out. So, for now, I say bye-bye and see you next week.